Hey there everybody, what is going on? I am Tobin Carter, and today I am doing an episode review for The 100 Season 5 Episodes 1 and 2. So in today's video, I am going to be discussing and reviewing and sharing my theories for The 100's premiere and second episode for its 5th season. If you don't know, I am a huge fan of The 100. It is my favorite show on TV currently, and I love it. It's something that almost all of my friends enjoy. I actually know, because I talk about the show so much, 50 people who have gotten into it because I told them about it. And that's really cool to me. So, yeah, I have a little cult going on here. So no, The 100 is basically, if you haven't seen it, just to catch you up, is basically a post-apocalyptic drama, action type adventure. I can't really say too much because if you haven't seen it, you probably shouldn't be watching this video because things do get spoilery and you should watch it. So, I am a week late to starting the new season, actually. I was in New York for a time and I got back on Sunday. And I figured I would just wait to watch the Season 5 premiere with my father while Season 5's second episode was coming out, so that way we could do a bit of a double feature action there, you know? So, yeah, we did that. Tonight I watched Season 5 Episode 1, Eden, and Season 5 Episode 2, Red Queen. If you haven't seen either of those episodes, definitely do so before continuing this video, unless you don't mind being spoiled. But, yeah, we have a lot of ground to cover, and, these episodes do merit a, no spoilers, because they have a few big twists in them, so you have been warned.
I used to think that life was about more than just surviving, but I'm not sure anymore. Animals don't feel guilty when they kill. They just do it. They kill. Or they get killed. I tell myself that every life I took was for a reason. But the truth is, the other side had reasons too. The Grounders, the Mountain Men, even Allie. Their reasons to want us dead were the same as ours. It was us or them. Kill or be killed. Simple as that.
Season 5, Episode 1 is Eden, and it basically explains the story of how Clark went from being the last person on Earth, surviving a blast of fire that was destroying everything that we saw in the Season 4 finale, to the girl we saw 6 years and 7 days later, who had a daughter who was living in the middle of this lush garden, who had none of her friends saved yet, and somehow was at peace finally after everything. Clark Griffin has always been my favorite character in the series. I think since the pilot episode, I've always been sort of Team Clark more than any of the other characters. I was actually really happy to see a Clark-centric episode. I feel like Season 4 was really unique in the fact that it took a step away from Clark, where the first 3 seasons you could tell Clark is the main character. Season 4 was a season for other characters to shine, begin throwing their ideas, begin growing in their own personal ways, while Clark was able to set up a plotline that allowed her to grow in Season 5, which, as of Eden, she has quite a bit. And the whole episode just becomes the story of how this one girl survived this horrible, terrible event that wound up wrecking the entire world, and you see her as she's trying to survive, trying to figure out if she even should survive. Yeah, she's going to see her friends in 5 years. Yeah, she's going to maybe see her family in 5 years, but is that 5 years worth the wait? Seeing her struggle like that was exceptionally interesting because it's the first time since Season 1, actually. Because Season 3 only had like an episode before she went back to this plotline, where we've really seen Clark without a people to look after. She didn't have an entire clan that she was trying to prevent war with. She didn't have people she was trying to pull from a mountain prison. She was wholly, completely on her own. And that wound up becoming a very interesting plotline for Clark because she didn't know what to do with that. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Eliza Taylor is a phenomenal actress. And she really showcases in this episode.
I'm done! Do you hear me? I've lost everything! I lost my friends! My father! My mother! I've got nothing left!
It's almost entirely told from Clark's point of view, with about 5-10 minutes in space, and the final 30 seconds in the bunker. Basically what that sets up for is a narrative that allows you to see Clark growing as a character, becoming less of a I have to save my people to a I have to save myself kind of persona, as well as how she meets Maddie, the young Nightblood we saw at the end of Season 4, how she discovers Eden, who she becomes in this time process, and you get to hear her voiceovers as she's radioing Bellamy and Co. up in the ring.
Wait till you see this place. It's like the death wave jumped over the entire valley. Unfortunately, the radiation didn't.
As the episode progresses, Clark becomes more and more at peace, which is a very, very exciting thing to see for me as a fan of Clark Griffin. As for 4 seasons now, she has been constantly barraged with fight after issue that she has to resolve, with moral conflicts, with physical conflicts. She has been through a lot, and she's really toughed it out. So, this season, getting the premiere to kind of show us Clark Griffin without that was a really exceptional move. I give writers kudos to that. I will say, the final shot in the bunker with Octavia covered in red as the gladiatorial match was honestly one of my favorite shots in the whole episode, but it wasn't an easy victory for that. The episode winds up becoming almost like a movie with sweeping shots and landscapes throughout the entire episode. You see the desert, you see Clark in the rover, you see Clark going through the wreckage that was Arcadia, her home, and you see Clark slowly coming to terms with that, and it was all shot with such a nuance and finesse that I think anyone who enjoys good cinema and movies will be able to appreciate it for the cinematography, especially. Not to mention Clark's character development, Eliza's acting, the story arc, everything was perfectly in line with Eden. I'd actually go so far as to call it my favorite episode of the show to date.
I just want you to be prepared.
It's Nightblood that knows where we are. Who else could it be? Put your damn helmet on.
Now I'm going to be talking to you about Red Queen, which is sort of the companion episode, if that makes sense. It's not so much a follow-up, but rather what's happening at the same time. So as Clark's going off, traversing the desert, trying to survive, Octavia is having issues with the bunker. It's interesting because the narrative sets up for these two events to happen on the same day. In fact, you even see Clark banging on the bunker door in episode 1, and the people inside the bunker in episode 2 hearing that banging and wondering what it is. So it leads to a lot of curiosity and questions that need to be answered, but it doesn't answer them. Instead, it winds up pulling away from Clark and Co. potentially conversing, and brings to focus Octavia as the Red Queen we saw at the end of episode 1. That becomes the show's main plot point for this episode. Instead of seeing a big moral dilemma where a lever has to be pulled, Octavia has to make the choice of how is she going to lead her people. What are her people going to say when they have a red-blooded commander after almost a century of night-blooded commanders. What is Octavia going to do with these warring clans ready to kill each other for anything?
Open the door.
So it becomes a bit of a dilemma for Octavia as what kind of leader she should become that doesn't represent all the terrible things that happened to her, but at the same time demands the respect of these clans.
We will take back the farm. For one crew. And that includes the innocent people on the other side of that door. No. She needs to do this herself. You are one crew. Or you're the enemy of one crew. Choose. You are one crew. Or you're the enemy of one crew. Choose.
It also, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the episode and have somehow kept watching this far, stop. I am going into spoilers now. It also kills off a main character from 4 seasons. 4 seasons! Thelonious Jaha has been a main character. He's even on the main credit intro for Season 5 as a main character. And he dies. I was shook. I was honestly not expecting that. I expected him at least to make it until the bunker was open. But no, he died. I was shocked. So yeah, Jaha dies and in his final moments winds up affecting the way Octavia is going to be leading her people, as well as giving Octavia a new person to look after. If you don't know, in The Chosen, Jaha was given a child named Ethan to look after. But in Jaha's last moments, he realized that Ethan needed another guardian, so he passed it on to Octavia and the other grounders. What that means is we have Maddie with Clark up on the ground, and Ethan with these warring nations underground. While Maddie and Ethan are about the same age, I can see some interesting tensions and dynamics coming from those two in the episodes to come. Honestly, I enjoyed both episodes extremely. Both had a very clever way of writing. They were written almost self-focused on each individual episode, but also teased at a bigger picture as a whole. I don't know what to make of Cain being in the ring at the very end of the gladiator matches, but I think it's going to be a pretty big deal, especially with the look that Indra gave him. I don't think Cain's gonna die. If I'm being honest, I think Cain's probably gonna survive. I mean, they killed Jaha. I'm still shocked from that, but Cain's probably gonna survive. And I could see for a while now characters not dying, and then at the very end a few big ones biting the dust, because the Hundreds never killed off a main character this early except for Season 1 with Wells before they were really establishing characters. So I'm interested to see where this goes. Honestly, I am such a big fan of this show, and Season 2 has always been my favorite season. Season 4 gave it a run for its money, and all the seasons are incredible, but I think after these 2 episodes, if they're any indicator, I think Season 5 could just take the cake as best season in this series. If you haven't checked out The 100 yet, it is on Netflix. Seasons 1 through 4 are, as well as on the CW, where Season 5 is airing on Tuesdays. Definitely catch up if you haven't, and if you want to, leave a like down below and subscribe. I will be doing weekly episode reviews, and I'll be doing episode reviews for other shows, season reviews, and all that kind of cool stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and peace out. Bye.